Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. Today we're gonna talk about, or we're gonna wrap up the month of March, because it started out with a good bang. Then it got a little bad, but then I think we picked up towards the end. So let's get into it and talk about it. I started the month off with The Maid. This is by Nita Prose. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. So we follow Molly the maid. She's a very different character, very different from anything I've read before. She takes things very literally, like very literally. She was enjoyable to read. Although I did listen to this book, I read along at some points while I was listening. Audio is fantastic. Our narrator really put the feel into Molly's character. Like, she really did a fantastic job. Like, I had a perfect vision of Molly in my head. Fantastic narrator. Highly recommend the audio. But the story in general was just super fun. It was very much of a cozy mystery feel, maybe a step above a cozy mystery maybe. It had a little bit of a dark side to it. But anyway, Molly finds one of the hotel's, like, VIP, I guess, customers, or whatever you want to call them. She found him dead in his room. That's kind of how the book starts, and then we follow Molly along on her journey to really just to clear her name, basically. But yet she doesn't really see it that way, although the police are, like, kind of on her and suspicious of her, but yet she doesn't really see it that way. She's just telling it like it is, you know? It was so much fun. The ending and the twist that were involved in the end, I was just, like, blown away. It was fantastic. I truly enjoyed it. I think I didn't give it a fully 5-star because the middle did kind of get a little bit on the slow side for me, but other than that, I enjoyed every minute of it. And while I was listening to that, I went ahead and I picked up Sapphire Sunset. I can never get the name of this book right. I have a vlog on this book, and you will see me trying to name it all kinds of different things, like Sunset Sapphire, Sapphire Sunrise, or, like, I could not get it right. But I'll link that vlog down below if you want to, if you want more details on what I thought about this book. This is by Christopher Rice. He's going to be writing his male romance series under C. Travis Rice. And this is the first book in the series. It's the Sapphire Cove series, is a male romance. I did end up eventually listening along to this because I couldn't put it down. I did not want to put this book down. 5 stars, if you haven't guessed. So when I was walking around the house, I was like, I need this in my ear, and I'm so glad I did, because Christopher Rice himself narrates the book. Fantastic. Fantastic. Where have I been? I need more Christopher Rice in my life. So this is a story. This is Logan and Connor's story. Logan is ex-Marine. Yes, ex-Marine. I didn't want to get it wrong. And he just got a job in the security department at Sapphire Cove, our hotel. So yeah, Sapphire Cove is a hotel, so he got a job on the security team, and the owner's grandson will be joining the staff after he graduates, and he's currently having a graduation party as we open up into the story over at Sapphire Cove. See, I don't know what it is about the name of this book. I can't, like, it does not want to click. Anyway, so Logan and Connor meet that night. I did feel like that was very fast, but then again, I didn't. Like, yo, my chain just fell off. Like, it just broke. Like, it just, like, the hook on this end just, like, what? This is a nice nice chain. My life these days. Moving on without the chain. So like I was saying, in a way I felt like their connection was a little fast, and but then again it really wasn't. Like the more you get into the story, you kind of get it. I mean, you have those moments, right, where you're just like insta-lust. It wasn't like insta-love, it was like insta-lust. And at first I was like, is this fast? Then I was like, no, I get it, I feel it. Anyway, circumstances happen, and Connor decides to move away and start his career after he graduates. Once again, more circumstances happen. Connor returns home to the hotel where he and Logan sort of start up, kind of pick up where they left off. Although it takes a little minute, but they start after they clear the air, things start to pick up. But I just really enjoyed, not only did I enjoy Logan and Connor, but I really enjoyed the story behind it. It was like a little bit of like drama and a little bit of mystery, and it's like a little bit of action packed going on, a little bit of thrill happening. You know, I really enjoyed the story. Like everything you can think of is in this book. The romance, the action, the drama, the thrill. Like it was all there. I just can't say any more good things about this book. So if you have not picked it up, highly recommend it. Also highly recommend the audio. I went ahead and I picked up another book of the month. This is Lisa Jewell's The Night She Disappeared. I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads, but an honest review was about a 3.5 star. I did feel it got a little slow for me somewhere in the middle, and there was definitely a very unlikable character, in my opinion, that I just did not like. And then the ending, the epilogue, not necessarily the ending and like the whodunit or whatever, but the epilogue confused me. I sat on it a little while, I reread it, and it took me a hot minute to be like, oh, okay. So anyway, we have some timelines, we have a good handful of characters that we're following. So we start basically off with like Tallulah and Zach. Tallulah and Zach go missing one night after a night out with friends. They have a little baby together. They are not married, but they are living together in Tallulah's mother's home with their baby, and needing to get away for a little while. They are invited out with friends, so they go, but then they never return. Nobody has ever been found. Tallulah's mother, we follow Tallulah's mother. What is her name? Kim. We follow her. Is it present time? The timeline, it can get a little bit confusing because it's like 2017, 2018. We start following Kim. Okay, it's kind of coming back to me. We start following Kim, which is Tallulah's mother, the night that Tallulah and Zach disappeared. And then we start following, I can't remember any names. I really can't. Sophie. Thank God I wrote it down. I had to write me like a little like timeline and who was who kind of thing, because I started getting a little, not confusing, but like I said, the timeline is a little different, and I just wanted to make sure when I was following this person where we were at in that time frame. So anyway, Sophie is a cozy mystery author. Her and her partner, not necessarily, they're not married. He was offered, I believe, a job at the university or something, and she went along with him. They are living in a cottage in like this area where Tallulah and Zach were last seen. So she learns this story and she sort of starts doing a little sleuthing herself. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're following Sophie in a year since it happened timeline. And then we're jumping back like a few months in 2017. like a few months before they went missing, we're following Tallulah herself. June 2017 is when they go missing, I believe. And then, yeah, September 2016 is when we start following Tallulah before her and Zach went missing. It's kind of all over the place. I got, like, that's why I had to write it down, because I was like, where are we? Who are we talking to? Although that did keep it interesting, and I really enjoyed the back and forth and everything that was happening. Like I said, it got a little slow somewhere in the middle, but it started to pick up towards the end. Now, I did sort of figure out Tallulah's story, but other than that, I really honestly didn't know what was going on. And when we get to the whodunit kind of thing, I wasn't that impressed. I was just like, okay, sounds good. And then we get to the epilogue and I'm like, what? So anyway, yeah, 3.5, you know, it wasn't terrible, but it's not my favorite Lisa Jewell. That was a lot. That was a long explanation. I did listen to the audio of that, and I thought it was well done. I really did like the narration. I think it was read by, okay, I thought it was read by a couple different narrators, but no, it's just one narrator, but she did a fantastic job. For some reason, I really wanted to pick this up. I don't know, I kept seeing it. I had it at the top of my TBR shelf. Those books up there are like the most oldest of my TBR, and I kept walking past the shelf and I kept looking at it, and I'd go back and I'd pick it up and be like, you know what, let's do it this month. So this is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. It's sort of on the, I don't know, sci-fi fantasy side maybe. We follow Victor, as well as, we follow a couple people in here, but our main characters are Victor and Eli. We mainly follow Victor. Once we got to Eli's point of view, I didn't like his side of the story. I loved Victor. Not too crazy about Eli, but anyway, they are good friends in college. Very smart young men. They decide to, well, they are assigned like a thesis or something. And theirs is extraordinary. Like what makes a human being extraordinary? Like an extra sort of sense, I guess. Now in here it was like a power, but in real world I would think of it like as someone that has maybe like a sixth sense, or you know, those kind of psychics, those kind of things, mediums. That would be more realistically, but in here we have like people that just have like these unique powers. Like they can heal very quickly, they can manipulate you, they can disappear from one place to the next, like different things. So they decide to dive into that and experiment on themselves. How do humans become extraordinary? Basically, you experience a near-death experience to become extraordinary. Like when you may die for a minute or seconds, but then when you come back, you feel like you have something missing, but you have like this extra power that you don't know what to do with. So that's sort of what this book is about. So Eli and Victor experiment on each other, sort of become enemies in the path of deciding who's the hero kind of thing. Victor has his own ideas and Eli has his own idea of what a hero is. I don't know how else to explain it without giving anything away, but we follow a couple characters, but Victor and Eli are basically our main characters. But I had a fantastic time with this. The writing is phenomenal. I cannot wait to jump into the next book. In fact, it's on my April TBR, but yeah, I really had a good time with that. I physically read this one because I couldn't find the audio anywhere. well, I could have got it on Audible, but I really just didn't feel like using a credit for it. But Vengeful, which is the second book, is available through Scribd, I believe. Either Scribd or I have it on hold at one of my libraries. I don't remember. But anyway, I will be listening to Vengeful because while I was reading this, I was like, oh, I bet the audio really brings this to life. I bet it really gives it a little bit more. But anyway, I still loved it. Loved it. Like I said, in the beginning of the month, I was doing good with my reading. Finley Donovan is Killing It by El Casamano. Loved it. Had the best time with this book. This is also like a cozy mystery, like on steroids maybe. I don't know. It was funny. It was entertaining. I loved Finley. I really enjoyed how it played out. Finley is an author, and she's having a little bit of a writer's block. She writes romance suspense or suspenseful romance, however you want to say it. And her agent are having lunch at Panera, and she is overheard by someone, and before you know it, she gets like this note before she leaves Panera, you know, saying basically, I want you to kill my husband, kind of thing. So they overtook the conversation of Finlay's next book, as Finlay was like some sort of hitman. So it was so entertaining. I kept thinking, how in the heck is she gonna pull this off? You know, how is she gonna like go about and try to like kill this man possibly, or like what is she gonna decide to do? I knew she did something. Like in the beginning, I'm thinking like, what if this was me? Like I would just like kind of crumple that up and throw it away. But no, Finlay decides, you know, she's gonna look into this. She's gonna look and see who this guy is, why his wife wants him dead. It was so funny, so much fun. She's also a divorced single mother struggling. So we have a little bit of her ex-husband and his current fiance, girlfriend, or whatever thrown in the mix. That was entertaining. I loved her babysitter. I can't remember her name, but I loved her. Her and Finley like made like the best pair ever. There was a little bit of a romance happening in here. I can't wait to read the second book. I should have added that to my April TBR. I wasn't even thinking, but yeah, really had a good time with this one. I did listen to this on audio as well. Narration was fantastic. It's read by Angela Dove, D-A-U-V-E. Fantastic job. She really was Finlay Donovan. Like I could totally picture Finlay. Like, great job. Then I picked up The Plot. This is by Jean Hans Korlitz. Sorry, totally probably trashed that name, but unfortunately I did not like this book. It wasn't, I don't know if I just went into it expecting it to be great, because I felt like there was a lot of hype around it when it first came out, but I just didn't get it. I really didn't. We follow Jake Bowen. What is his name? Bonner. Jacob Bonner. He is an ex-author, or I should say he was once a well-known author with a good first book and hasn't really put anything great out there. He is now like teaching writing classes at some sort of little school, and he has a student named, what was his student's name? Like, I totally forgot about this book. Evan Parker. So Evan is a very arrogant young man who claims that he has wrote the best plot ever. So he comes to this class and he's like acting like he's so much better than everybody else and he doesn't need this class. I even wrote in my Goodreads, like, then what the F are you doing in this class? I don't know, everything everything about this book kind of started to annoy me. I do not recommend the audio. I don't want to say it was terrible. I mean, I hate to put down any narrator because that is a fantastic job and I could never do it, but it really didn't do anything to enhance this story. Maybe if I would have physically read it, it may have been better, but then as I'm listening to this book, I'm thinking listening to it is probably the only way I'm going to get through it. I thought about DNFing it at one point, but then I really wanted to know what the plot was. And then what happened to Evan, because Evan turns up dead. I believe it was considered like a suicide. So Jacob takes it upon himself to write a book with the plot. It becomes like #1 best-selling. It really takes Jacob to the next level kind of thing. But yeah, it was just, I felt like it was just so drawn out. Like, I got so bored. I really don't think I would have made it with reading this physically. Even though the audiobook was not good, I think that's what got me through it, because I wanted to know what the plot was. I even sped it up like a half a speed or so, because I can't listen to audiobooks super fast like some booktubers do. I have no idea how they do it. Like I can't listen to it that fast. I have to like take in the voice, and like otherwise if I can't understand what they're saying or they're talking too fast, what's the point? That's just my opinion anyway. But those that can do it, great. I just don't have that great of a mind, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so it was just very slow. It was mostly Jacob's inner monologue, which was very boring. And then once we get to the end and we learn about the plot, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't no big deal, you know? And then I really hated the ending, like with a passion. Like I just closed the book and just kind of threw it to the side. I was like, nope, that right there just took it to a whole nother level of nope. So I was like, okay, well, let's try another thriller. Let's try this again. I can't go wrong with Lisa Unger, right? Last Girl Ghosted. Ashley and I attempted to read this, buddy read this. Ashley gave up on it, which I totally understand. I myself could not give up on it because I just really wanted to know. I wanted to continue the story, and I wanted to like it. I wanted it to, you know, get better. I wanted the ending to be like, yes. It wasn't. So I gave this 1 star because the audio was very good. I really did enjoy the audio. I think that's what got me through the story. So we have a couple, Ren and Adam. I'm gonna have to look back at my notes because I honestly do not remember anything about this book. Other than that, then I know the narration was good, because that's really the only good thing about this book, and it's not necessarily about the book, it was just the audio. So yeah, Adam and Ren meet through a dating app. I don't understand the whole Last Girl Ghosted thing. I don't get that part. And then what? I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened with this book. There's also that this book is told in a second person point of view. Like she's talking to, I think she's talking to Adam the whole time. She's telling him this story. So it's, you know, like you, but you was so much better. Like listening to Joe talk to you about you was so much better. This was not. Like it annoyed me to, it annoyed me, this whole second person thing. She annoyed me. She was just very whiny. And I mean, I kind of get it, I guess, when you start to learn about her story and her life and how she is the way she is. I can't. I can't. let me just say this. The book was about Ren, the girl, and her past, which was a very messed up past. Very messed up. I get it. I get why she is how she is. I felt everything at the end was just all jumbled up, and I really don't, I remember thinking, I don't really understand what happened here. Like, what's going on? Anyway, I think I was just trying to get through it, and I was hoping the ending would at least give it a 2. I don't know. No. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean you're not gonna like it. So I encourage you to pick it up. If you're really interested in it, and you're a Lisa Unger fan like I am, do it. You might like it. But I will say this, there is reference to COVID in here, so that could be a trigger for some people. And it was completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. I don't have a problem with putting COVID in a book. It's reality. It happened. Writers are going to write about it. I understand that. I'm morbid like that. I don't have a problem with it, but there are people that do. And so there is a little bit of COVID, but like I said, it's unnecessary. It did not need to be written in the book at all. It was just kind of like reading about Ren, and then, oh yeah, something's happening in China, by the way. No, who cares? No. Let me stop. Okay, so as you all know, when I'm in a slump, thriller, whatever it may be, my go-to is male romance. So here we are with Super Hot Wingman and The Best Men by Serena Bowen and Lauren Blakely. Thank you to the good Lord above. These two were both 5 stars. I enjoyed them immensely. So this is just a short little prequel to The Best Men. This is Mark and Asher's story. We mostly follow Mark in here. We go back and forth once we get to The Best Men. But we get to know a little bit about Mark and how he and Asher met. So basically they met through Mark's sister is marrying Asher's best friend. We get that short little story in here, and then it completely continues in this book. And I kind of feel like you really should read this before you read this, because something happens in here and the very beginning sort of picks up right where it left off. Although it is easily explained what happened in there as to what is happening in the beginning of the book. But this starts out with Mark and Asher already knowing who each other are, and they don't know who each other are in this book. So I really liked getting to know Mark and Asher and how they met, and then jumping into their story for The Best Men. So they're going to be both are the best men. Mark's sister wants him to be her best man, and Asher's best friend, I forget his name. It's something weird. They call him something like Flip. That's what it is. So Flip's best friend. So Asher is going to be Flip's best man. So Mark and Asher are the best men. Really cute little story. So they actually go to the resort before the wedding just to make sure that everything is running smoothly before the bride and the groom, come, and they just want everything set and ready. The only thing the bride and the groom have to do is walk down the aisle. So Asher and Mark go there together and spend a couple days, getting everything together, getting to know each other maybe a little bit more. Even though they do get to know each other before they head out, it's kind of I want to say it's a hate to love, but it's not. It's like I don't like you right now, but I don't know you. But once I get to know you, okay, I like you. But it was really fun. It was a breath of fresh air after dealing with all of that. This was a really good time, and it sort of helped me prepare myself for the next book I'm going to talk about. So let's just get this over with. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Lucy Foley or Lucy Foley? Okay, it wasn't bad. I gave it 3 stars. What did I give it? Oh, 2.5. So but now that I'm sitting on it, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. We do have a lot of characters. Okay, so we're following Ben's sister Jess. Their stepbrother and stepsister. Ben was living in this Paris apartment, and Jess is sort of, I don't want to say she doesn't have her life together, but she basically kind of doesn't have her life together. And she's at a point where she's just in a low slump. So she asks if she can come visit her brother for a little while. When she gets there, he's not there. So then she begins to meet all his neighbors in the Paris apartment. And it's just really messed up. It really is. Like all these people are just weird and acting weird. Now what I did enjoy about this, I did listen to this, highly recommend the audio, it's fantastic. We do get a voice for each of our characters. We follow a good many of them, like all the neighbors. Like we follow Jess, who is, Ben's stepsister. We follow Sophie, who lives in the penthouse. She's an older lady. We follow the concierge, which is a much older lady who's basically the house cleaner, or the apartment cleaner, basically. And we follow Mimi, who is on the 4th floor. Mimi was, to me, she was super creepy. I was like, something's up with her. We follow Nick, who is on the 2nd floor. I really did enjoy Nick's point of view. We don't get a lot of his point of view, but I really did enjoy his point of view. Yeah, that's it. All of these people like have these secrets. I don't want to say too much about it, but it was very dark and messed up. I will give it that. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I enjoyed the Paris setting. I enjoyed the cast of characters that we had that really kept me into the story. I did find, for me, it drug a little bit, and I didn't really think that the plot twists were that impressive, honestly. But yeah, other than that, I should probably bump this up to like maybe a 3. Like, it was sort of enjoyable, but I remember thinking it as I was reading it. I was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. I'm not, and then we get to like the end and the twist and what it was all about, and I'm like, okay. But it's a beautiful cover. I highly recommend the audio. Very, very good audio. Before we jump into my last book of the month, I have a few male romances that I've thrown into the mix because I was having such a horrible thriller month. Don't know what was going on. So I started Hijacked. This is by Lucy Lennox and May Archer. I did listen to this on audio. It was read by Michael Dean, who is a fantastic male romance narrator. This is part of the Licking Thicket. It's sort of a spin-off of the Licking Thicket. This is called Licking Thicket Horn of Glory. It's basically, it revolves around like this game, the Horn of Glory, which I was like, okay. So we follow, what's his name? It's Carter. We meet Carter in the last Licking Thicket book, or maybe before. No, we meet him just in the last one. Yeah, we meet him in the last book. Carter is a cardiologist. He's a doctor. This is him and Riggs' story. I gave this 3.5 stars, by the way. I just wasn't into it. I wasn't into Carter and Riggs. Like I just wasn't into their relationship. I really wasn't into the story. So Carter is going off seas. Where is he going? I wrote it down in my Goodreads. I thought I did. Venezuela to care for some of the ailing people there. And while there, he gets hijacked. Him and Riggs. Riggs is his bodyguard. Carter's grandfather sent Riggs along with Carter to keep him safe. I think Riggs works for some sort of security place up back in the Licking Thicket. So yeah, it's basically the whole time we're in Venezuela, basically, and there's like a drug lord there. I just really didn't like it. I didn't like being away from the thicket at all. Towards the end, it got a little bit interesting. Once we get back into the thicket, I started to get more interested in the story between Carter and Riggs. But yeah, it was, basically your basic love story. They don't like each other in the beginning, and Carter doesn't want Riggs there because he doesn't think that he needs protection from anything. So they have like a little bit of a hate to love before they really start to fall for each other. And I did sort of feel like it was kind of fast. Yeah, I wasn't into them. I was disappointed. I really was. I am going to continue with the series because I love Licking Thicket. I want to go back to the thicket. I want more from the thicket. That's what I want. So I will try the second book and I'll let y'all know how that goes. But yeah, this one wasn't meh. So then I thought, okay, well, let me go back to Vino and Veritas, see what those guys are doing. So I picked up, I believe this is the 9th book. This is Turnabout. This is by Laurel Greer. I did listen to the audio. It was read by Gary Furlong, who really did a pretty good job. But again, it was a 3-star. Man, I really couldn't get into our couple. So this is Aiden and, is his name Carter? Are there a lot of Carters here? I'm thinking, no, that can't be right. What was his name? No, Auden. Auden is Scottish, so we have a Scottish accent. The narrator did a great job from switching accents. It is Carter. So yeah, we have another Carter and Auden, who is, like I said, Scottish. I did enjoy the narration, just not so much the story, and I just wasn't really connected with our characters. I mean, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy the audio. But yeah, I wasn't into it. It wasn't bad. I just wasn't into the story or our characters. And so basically Auden and Carter were dating in college, sorry. And Carter wanted to fulfill, his dream. His dad owns a print shop. Auden is an artist, I believe. Anyway, Carter wanted to go off and, get his dream job, and Auden had his reasons for staying behind. So Carter went ahead and he left, and it's been a couple years. Auden stayed behind and started working for Carter's dad in the print shop. And a family drama, family incident happens, and Carter has to come home to help run the shop. It's a second chance romance between our two guys because they both never really stopped loving each other. They just parted ways for reasons that they didn't talk about. So miscommunication, which I really don't like miscommunication. But yeah, so it was kind of their story and their second chance at love. Like I said, it was okay. It wasn't bad. I just wasn't that into it. Now these next 2 books I absolutely loved. I preferred the first one over the second one. The first one is Frat Wars. This is King of Thieves. Is that what? Yes, the first one is King of Thieves. This is by Saxon James. This is a bunch of frat boys who play pranks on each other and hook up with each other, apparently. It was so much fun, just so much fun. If you're looking for a good time in a male-male romance, just like good old-fashioned, just fun, and these boys are a blast. Just following along with them and their pranks and their Sigma rules and frat rules or whatever. It doesn't have a lot of drama. It's very low on the drama. I mean, you know, there's a little bit, but it's nothing. Like, it's fun drama. Fun drama, lighthearted. If you're just looking for a good time in a male-male romance, pick up the Frat Wars by Saxon James. King of Thieves is the first one. This is Brandon and Chad's story. Yeah, I'm so not good with names. So Chad is bi and Brandon is gay. They are from different houses. Chad's house is having a frat party and he's sort of just looking for a good time, just somebody to hook up with. He's feeling like he's wanting a dude to hook up with. He spots Brandon. Brandon's beautiful. They go up to his room and then they find out they're from like rivaling frats or houses, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I didn't go to college, so I don't know. I don't know what all that's about. So yeah, it was just so much fun, like seeing them like try to ignore the sexual tension between the two. Their banter was so much fun. They teased each other until they finally just couldn't take it anymore. Then they started sneaking around. So much fun, y'all. And then we get into the second one, which is Masters of Mayhem. Y'all, I was so wrong in that first one. It's not, did I say Brandon? Because Brandon's in the second one. It was Bailey, Chad and Bailey. I'm so sorry. Chad and Bailey are in the first book, and Robbie and Brandon are our hookups in the second book, Masters of Mayhem. Now, Robbie, the difference in this book, Robbie and Brandon are in the same house. But Robbie is sort of, he wants to experiment. He's hearing all these sex sounds come from Chad's room, and he's like getting interested. Like, what could be so good? I need to find out for myself, kind of thing. So he goes around basically asking everybody if he can touch their dick. It's so much fun. I had the best time with these guys. I laughed so much reading these two books. I did see that they were on audio on Scribd, so I just tried it out for a little while. I listened to the second book from like about 65% of the way through the book. I really like wanted to, I was doing stuff around the house and I really wanted that to put that back in my ears. So I was like, let me just see if it's on Scribd. Scribd is very good with male-male romances. I mean, Audible will have everything you want in a male-male romance, but Scribd is very, you know, it's hit or miss with Scribd. But they do have a good selection of male-male romances, which is why I subscribe to them, because my libraries don't really have a lot of male-male romance as far as like on audio or really to read, honestly. But yeah, it was available, so I went ahead and I checked it out. It was fun. I wasn't too crazy about one of the narrators. We have two narrators, and I wasn't really crazy about Brandon's voice. Robbie's voice, I could really picture that being Robbie, but Brandon was not what I was picturing for Brandon. So I kind of shut it off and I just continued to read it. I just wanted to see how it was just to have these guys, like, their voices in my head instead of like me just reading it, you know. But anyway, it was still a good time. Yeah, so Robbie and Brandon are really good friends. They're kind of like banter buddies. They like always are kind of arguing with each other. And Brandon actually has a girlfriend that he's really not into. He doesn't really know how he got into the relationship. It just kind of happened. Long story short, him and Robbie decide they're gonna experiment this whole dude thing together. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh, I can't I can't tell y'all enough how much fun I had with these books. But yeah, this one now, the second one wasn't as enjoyable as the first one because I really enjoyed like the whole sneaking around with Chad and Bailey. Yeah, Chad and Bailey. These names, y'all, just can't get them right. But yeah, I really enjoyed how Robbie and Brandon took their relationship to the next level with their story, and like from experimenting to love kind of thing. It was really cute. I had a good time. I can't wait for the third one. Is there going to be a third one? I hope there's going to be a third one. And I really hope it's the two presidents of the rivalry houses, Zeke and Charlie. I really, really hope that is their story. But, you know, I'll take what I can get. Frat Wars number 3 is called Presidential Chaos. There's no blurb or anything. It doesn't even say, it doesn't say when it's going to be out either. So it's probably still in the works, but it's there. Presidential Chaos. We don't have a picture or anything, no blurb, but we're getting a number 3, and I have a feeling it's going to be Zeke and Charlie's story. Anyway, that's all the Male romances that I read in the month of March. Lastly, and definitely not least, I think this is the book that has got me out of my little thriller slump that I was going through in the month of March. I picked up One of Us is Lying. I didn't know if I was going to have time for this book in the month of March because I really wanted to listen to it because the audio had like a full cast of narrators for our characters. So I was like, ooh, I love a full cast of narrators. So I put it on hold at my library, but I didn't know it was going to come in so soon. And it ended up coming in like at the beginning of the week or something. So I was like, yes. So I started listening to this and absolutely loved it. 5 stars. I don't know if it was actually 5-star worthy, but for me and the slump I was in, this was just like, finally I have a good story. This definitely gave me Breakfast Club vibes. Loved that about them. The book starts off with our 5 characters, 5 of them to start off with, that are in detention. And it's a weird situation as of why they're there. And they don't really understand why they're there, because they should not be there. One of them ends up dying before their detention time is up. Simon ends up dying. So we have Bronwyn, who is our brain. We have Addie, who is our beauty. Nate is the criminal. Cooper is the athlete. And then Simon is the outcast. Simon has this app that he invented called, what's it called? It was a gossip app. I don't remember what it was called, but anyway, it was a gossip app that was notorious at Bayview High. And he basically would just spill all the tea. So he didn't really have a group of friends. He didn't really have anyone that truly liked him, because he was always telling the secrets. And when he dies with secrets about all the rest of our 4 characters. So the police find out that all our 4 characters left definitely have a motive to be the one to have killed Simon. And then we just go back and we flip back and forth from each character, finding out their secret, and how they go about clearing their name, and just their story along the way, and how they felt about Simon, and I loved it. I loved their secrets. I loved the drama within the students. I loved it. I enjoyed how it ended as well. Like it doesn't really leave you with like necessarily a cliffhanger, but you want to know. You want to continue their story. You want to know what these guys and gals are going to end up like moving on in their lives. So I definitely want to pick up the next book. Really good. Was like I said, I don't know if it was 5-star worthy for anybody else, but to me, after reading all those fails, I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. I don't know if I can pick all these books up. Oh, that's heavy. But I got through 15 books this month. reading slash listening to. I had a good time. I had a bad time. It was all good. It was reading fun. Let me know in the comments if any of y'all have read any of these books, what y'all think about them. Let me know about Last Girl Ghosted. Like, I'm heartbroken. I really am. And I'm kind of sad about the Paris apartment as well. I really wanted to love it, but I didn't love it. I just kind of liked it. It's teetering. It's teetering. I don't know. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, that's it. Hope y'all are all doing well out there. Thank y'all so much for watching as always. Hugs from me all around y'all, and I will see you very, very soon in another video. Bye y'all.